Let's go. Back in the building. This is the underground. Still breathing. You ain't killed me yet. So here we are. Mink says the best live on YouTube. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, much love. Crazy looking picture there, image. If you guys got any like this, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Do my best to get them in a lineup and all that. Thank you, eFits, for the feedback on the 5x5. Good to see everybody out there checking in across the board. Much love, Deanne, MC, Wolf Club, Jones, Mayhem, Pixie, Academy, Daily Survival. Thank you for everything. All of you, Beach Girl, Kanito, Kenny G. So many of you guys, man. I'd love to meet you one day. Nothing like meeting good people. That's what it's all about. We don't have a whole lot of time left. So there's enough evil people in the world that, you know, when you can find a handful of good people, man, it's priceless. So much love, Raymond. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. You can @ me in the chat as well at Dabu77. Thank you, Flip. Good to see a Boomer, Bulletproof Soul, Barbie in Ohio. I love Jesus. Much love. Hope all is good, man. Got plenty to cover here tonight. And thank you, David, for gifting the membership there. Charlene, welcome to the underground. And yeah, plenty to cover here tonight. Just got done launching the stream over on Pump Live. I figure if it's a new platform that has a chat and we can go live on it, we're going to test it out. And I've been trying to. The problem is you can't go live over there at the same time as YouTube. Restream doesn't have it in the lineup. So for anyone out there that was wondering, that's the case. And yeah, we did launch the Dabu 7 project official under my name, so that no other person out there could try to steal it. But just as quickly as we got it made and put it out there, the copycats, man, tried to be all over. But I got an official link below, and then I've got the official Telegram, and then all that links below for the official stuff. Anybody wants in, now would be the time. Just made it. And again, these projects designed for my people and for the long haul. The motto is the hodl here. And just got done locking up the dev wallet on that as well. So much love to everybody on live. That's real, John, Carl, everybody over there. If you guys got any other good platforms that I can punch in, let me know. I mean, I know of all the major ones for the most part, your Rumbles and your Kicks, and I'm probably gonna fire up on Kick and add that to the lineup from here. That way we got a bit of a backup just in case, and people are used to it. That way, something goes down, they show up YouTube one night, something's happening, and they can't find the stream. You'll know to find us on Kick, and it's my name, Dabu7, over on Kick. Also got D Live as a backup as well. Much love daily. All right, so I know a lot of people out there under this heat dome. Well, just broke here today. We just got out of the worst of it, I think, in my neck of the woods. So I know some people out there talking about dehydration and all this other stuff. Gotta watch it, man. Just this time of year, man, if they want to park a heat dome on top of us, it could be deadly. We've already seen it. So your area better than anyone else. I just keep an eye on the local news and use caution out there. And a thank you to everyone's being information. This was a crazy one. A gigantic dome that looks kind of like an eyeball falls from the sky, lands on the streets in Indiana. This is all during a storm. People really couldn't believe their eyes, I guess, with this. And we're like, what is it? And this is the kind of, it's like a weatherproof, what they call a radome, typically used to protect antennas and things like that. You'll see them on different radar setups. But man, for something this size to have been picked up and hauled that distance, it had to be a strong storm, some very strong winds. And they didn't say it came rolling down the street. They say that it fell out of the sky. Okay, so the first thought was that it was some kind of space junk, some kind of satellite or something like that. But then they're like, no, we know what it is, but just the fact that it came falling out of the sky was pretty crazy. People couldn't believe their eyes, as it says right here. That's probably the craziest part about it. Is how heavy it is. It fell from the sky. It's like, what kind of wind, what storm picked this thing up and threw it that high? Again, with weather weaponry, as I call it, popping off out there these days, anything can happen, man. They're sending hurricanes up into the Appalachian Mountains, wiping stuff out. And you just never know, man. I don't trust them at all. Weather is a weapon. And I put out a video on this, if you guys missed it. Massive fireball spotted over several states If you guys seen this, let me know. Chime in. 140 reports from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. Just to name a few. I'll play a quick clip here. Again, I did put a video out on this. Multiple states in the southeast. See it coming straight down a rocket right there in that one. And another angle right here, right there. Coming pretty much straight down. Now, that's not the wildest part about this. You've seen the trajectory there, how it was coming like straight down. I just showed you an object that like should not have even fell from the sky, that came from out of the sky. This thing hit a house. It exploded. Of course, the fireball coming in, you've seen it. It got brighter. It exploded during that moment. And look at this. We can actually say that we've got another one. We've got another incident here where we've got an impact. Years ago, I reported on one in India. They hit the ground, smoking, smoldering, all this other stuff. Just here within the past handful of years, out west, I believe it was, there was a home that was hit on the porch. It burnt the entire porch up and everything else from an impact, a meteor impact, fireball impact. And this sends a piece of rock through the roof and into the ground. So that's how you kind of know, okay, this is meteor for sure. There's always the possibility it's a piece of space junk. And it's burning up, blown up into pieces as it's coming in, and you get a shard of that. But that would be a certain kind of metal, and they would know this. And they're saying that this is more of a rock, going along the lines of this was a meteor that came down, straight down, and blew up. We saw one like this in Russia years ago. If you guys remember, Chelyabinsk, Russia, came in and exploded like right over the city, blew out windows, set off car alarms. And to date, that's probably the strongest one that I've ever seen caught on camera, anything like that, coming in with a shock wave that just rocked the whole area. So these things are real for all those tards out there that don't believe that there's any space at all because they're so damaged by the psyops. Where's it coming from? The same ones that tell you satellites don't exist, right? But how am I getting any? How am I live right now, out in the middle of nowhere in the Appalachian Mountains? If that's the case, huh? Like, and trust me, the moment that the thing goes down, like there's no connection. So some people out there are badly damaged, and there's no other way around it. They spent too much time on psyops, and that's what the government wanted. And unfortunately, they get what they want sometimes. Just like murdering our people with fentanyl and all this other stuff, they get it because people just don't know when to quit. They don't know when to see, what's going on in front of them is a trap. Which a lot of this is. Like if I was someone out there that was taking pills and all this stuff throughout the years, man, then I would stop, because first off, your life depends on it, and it just depends on how much you value life. If you don't care, then you don't care. If you've got a family that's going to need you and you need to live for, then you would stop, knowing that people are dropping like flies. I say this in an attempt to try to save a damn life, man. So many people that I know from over the years are dying and dropping like flies from this fentanyl and all these designer drugs. Makes me irate. Yeah. I know you all probably know someone too. It's all too common these days, unfortunately. So I'm going to keep it pushing here. We've got 8 people killed, including a DoorDash executive, after a boat capsizes amid a freak thunderstorm on Lake Tahoe. Again, a DoorDash executive killed when he's out on a boat with his mother and father celebrating his mother's 71st birthday on the boat out there in Lake Tahoe. His wife just so happened to say, you know what, I'm not going out there. We got a 7-month-old daughter. I'm just going to stay here. She stayed on land. They went out. And the storm rocked them. Now, I'm like, how bad could it be? Well, here's footage of the storm that rocked them. This isn't them in the footage, but these are other boats on the piers and the docks around. Same day, same storm system, and you can see these boats are taking on water, flooding, and the waves are something crazy for Lake Tahoe. It goes to show, though, any storm system being manipulated can do some wild stuff. So.
New at 6, the latest on that deadly boating tragedy on Lake Tahoe. It happened during a fierce thunderstorm, sending boats crashing into each other. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Amma Dates. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Vaughn joins us live with the new details on this deadly incident that were released just within the last hour. Suzanne.
So, Almadan, El Dorado County sheriffs just confirmed they found the body of the final missing boater late this afternoon. That brings the death toll from this capsizing to 8 people. 2 other people from the boat were rescued. Now, witnesses say winds on the lake were fierce and that the waves reached 8 to 10 feet on Saturday. That was the first full day of summer. Look at how wild the waves were Saturday afternoon. This was by the Grove at Camp Richardson Resort along Lake Tahoe. A man from San Ramon shared this video. He visited Tahoe with his family and told ABC 7 he got stuck in the storm during a bike ride. You can see boats taking on water, others taking a pounding by the waves. Those waves were powered by strong winds up to 45 miles per hour. We talked to Kevin Cooper, the harbor master of Camp Richardson Resort. He says the storm moved in so quickly.
The wave height of this lake increased anywhere between 5 to 8 feet. I've been on this lake for 30 years and I've never seen this happen before.
Cooper says about a 25-minute drive from Camp Richardson is DL Bliss State Park. Conditions on the water there were dangerous and deadly that day. A 27-foot luxury powerboat capsized on Lake Tahoe, killing 8 people. The U.S. Coast Guard shared these photos of a large boat upside down in the water.
The boat over DL Bliss, when it capsized, everybody went into the water.
Cooper describes the really intense waves near DL.
That's not that big of a boat. Rest in peace to the people that died. Man, this is crazy. 5 to 8 feet waves out of nowhere. Craziness. I tell you, man, these storms, nothing to mess around with. You seen how they were pounding the boats and doing what it does. Bad storm bearing down there. All right, so again, rest in peace there to those people. Travis County prosecutors allegedly dropped capital murder against 2 of the 4 suspects in the killing of InfoWars reporter Jamie White, which is crazy. And there was speculation as to, what was really going on with this whole thing. I mean, he was straight up murdered. He went out to confront people that was trying to mess with his car, basically. Attempted vehicle burglary. And these teenage suspects fatally shot him. So according to police, the murder occurred during that situation when these 4 teens, all involved, killed him and then took off. One of the suspects, Eloy Adrian Camarillo, confessed to police that he and 3 of his friends were attempting to break into cars, and then they encountered him. During the altercation, White was shot and killed. And this Camarillo was originally charged with capital murder, and police made it clear that this was no random crime, that it was targeted. So one of the suspects even bragged about the killing in a rap verse, calling the victim a white boy, strongly suggesting a racial motive behind the attack. It says white boy came outside, hit his damn ass with a 9. The disturbing lyrics from the phone of suspect Rodney Charles Hill stated this. Hill, 17, was the final suspect arrested, while 2 others, both under age 17, have not been publicly identified due to Texas law. However, according to an independent journalist, Travis County prosecutors have allegedly dropped the capital murder charges against 2 of the 4 suspects, both whom are minors. So it seems these 2 guys are getting it pinned on them, the other 2 getting it dropped. It's looking like, one of these guys was a triggerman. Yeah, they were all guilty out there trying to break into a car, but only one of them had the gun in his hand and pulled the trigger. And it's looking like it was this guy, triggerman, and that's who should be getting punished the most severe. So, just ridiculous, man. But there's been talk that there may have been more to it, but there's no proof of that. So until someone can come up with some proof or evidence of that, it's just kind of speculation. On to the next one, which is a pretty crazy one in itself. This crazy nutcase. Can you imagine? This dude comes rolling into the front door of the church. Like, where's the pastor? And he's like there to kill. So they're calling this guy the Crucifixion murder suspect. He admits he planned to kill 14 Christian leaders. And this emerged from a jailhouse confession. 51-year-old Adam Christopher Schief, accused of a grotesque crucifixion-style murder of Pastor William Schoenman, 76, and he led the New River Bible Chapel in Arizona. Schief here said that he deliberately targeted Schoenman, stating that he drove from Phoenix around 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, found the pastor mid-Bible study, and executed him, pinning him to the wall in a haunting reenactment of the crucifixion. He even placed a crown of thorns from nearby woods on his head. This is crazy. So this nutcase was targeting other priests and pastors in cities such as Phoenix, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Billings, Montana, Detroit, Michigan, New York City, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Mobile, Alabama, Beaumont, Texas, El Paso, Texas, and then again, Phoenix is listed on the list again. So he was caught. It's unfortunate that someone had to lose their life, but this nutcase has been caught. And it's just like, what in the world? So he's got this Hebrew stuff tatted on his neck and all this stuff. I mean, whatever he had going on in his head, in his mind, he was convinced that these guys, there's no... I would like to know more, like, what's fueling, like, why? Like what? Did you find out they were pedos or something? Did you have a list? Just saying, like, why? Like, what? Why? Why'd you pick these guys specifically? There has to be more to it. There always is. No mention of a manifesto here with this one or anything else, but he just confessed in jail after this that he was going to go take out 14 more. So he's basically telling them that, like, yeah, he's a demon, all right. He's basically saying that, like, look, I did this. I was going to do even worse. And, like, you're a fool if you let me out. Like, this guy will spend the rest of his days behind bars no matter what. Without a doubt. No question about it. I want to point out real quick where all the rich people are leaving. The United Kingdom is seeing the biggest influx of people going into other places. Like, it doesn't say specifically, it just shows that by record numbers, they're leaving. I told you. And much love to all my cats in the UK. All you guys out there that always stay up late for the shows. Much love, Steve. China, another place they're trying to escape. Then India, South Korea, some from Russia and Brazil. Oddly, rich people are going into France and Spain. And I really don't know why. What's up with the whole France thing there? But I guess if they're super rich, left leaning, I could see that. But it's a madhouse in most of those countries. They turned Europe into a madhouse. So let's talk about the beef supply real quick. I try to bring it up whenever I see these headlines because I think it's important. I think that we're under attack. Did you know that only 4 companies currently control over 80% of the beef processing in this country? And it's very similarly controlled in terms of the poultry and the pork. That's right. In Missouri, in the last year, we've had 2 poultry plants closed by big companies here. Tyson Food canceling contracts with farmers, putting hundreds of people out of work across the state. So now it's being brought up that this is kind of a monopoly. I would say, yeah. What we do out here in Kentucky is we go to. I'm lucky. I got an uncle that's done this my whole life. He deals with cattle. That's what he does. The farmer just deals with cattle. We go as a family and we split the cow because we know that it's raised proper. Everything's good. Everything checks out. We know 100%, even down to where they take it to get it processed. So they're saying 4 big processing places, but I'm going to tell you right now, there are smaller processing places all across the country. There are. All across the country. So the beef supply, something that's always getting attacked, and 4 companies control this. And well, I don't see getting any better at this point. I don't see people going out and starting to buy cows and cattle and do this all themselves. The farmers are few and far in between, the ones that have cattle like this. So a new COVID wave scare campaign apparently doesn't work. It flops. They tried to push this whole thing out of China just like last time, and they tried to use the talk of this razor blade throat. That's what they're calling it, razor blade throat. So, it's also what they call a highly contagious COVID Omicron subvariant, NB181, which, no one's falling for it. It just goes to show that no one's falling for it. It ain't happening. Like, the problem is, though, is when they release the bird flu thing and all the real deal stuff, that it's going to be a major issue. What types of jobs are going to survive an AI revolution? Well, here's a good look at some. I shared a clip the other day of this fake, what looks almost just like this lady right here with hair and all this other stuff sitting there looking. All the facial features are moving. They're shifting and they're changing. Just like a human. Like if someone was like, look at you and give you a weird look and like roll their eyes or something like that. Like, these robots can pull off the same thing. And thank you, Skibby, for the super chat. Well, I don't even see it listed. I just see you guys saying thank you. I don't even see anything. It's not even pinned to the top. It's just nothing there. So, only reason I knew is because I looked over and seen you guys saying thank you. It's not even showing it. So, they say that AI can do certain things, but there's some jobs that just AI is showing proof it's struggling to replicate some of these jobs. Okay. Things that take impersonal communication, creativity, critical thinking in real time. Jobs that require these skills are considered to be less likely to be taken over by AI. So, healthcare professionals, fortunately, this is something that's good for you from here on out. Healthcare professionals, nurses making 93,000, physicians and surgeons making almost $250,000, dentist 180,000, physician therapist and occupational therapist around 100,000. Those are decent paying jobs there, good paying jobs. That they don't think AI is going to take over. Obviously, a dentist trying to get in your mouth and fix the cavity and do all this stuff. You see, you're going to need a human for that. And the same thing with like trying to fix certain things on your car, in your vehicle, when it comes to automotive stuff like that. If you need something fixed on at your house, like plumbers, things of that nature, ran through the wall, some gutters hung, all types of stuff like that is going to be needed by man from here on. AI can be implemented in different ways in a lot of these different places, right? But you're going to need people to do all the stuff I just said, like for building and all this stuff. Certain aspects will always have to be done by a human. All the finer detail stuff, for the most part, that takes critical thinking. Not to say that someday that they can't make a robot down the road to do certain things, but we're like, they're starting in a certain area, in a certain sector, and you see what they're rolling out. They're rolling out these Optimuses from Elon. It's like all the rave they're talking about. Everyone needs to get an Optimus. Well, I don't trust it. Talk about the ultimate spying device inside of your home. Yeah, I don't trust it at all. Come on now. This robot that's in your house, what if it's built, it could blow up at any moment? Like, just wait till that happens. Wait till a horrific moment happens where one of these things short circuits, fries, hurts somebody, kills someone. It's going to happen in the offing. It's going to happen at some point. Not to mention, it seems like they're definitely going to be basically rolling out Terminator war bots at some point. I mean, what is Elon going to do with legions of these things? He says he has legions. Like, if he's got legions, like, what is he going to do with them all? Like, it's pretty crazy. I'm telling you, they're going to use them for some bad things in the future. Okay, well, this big, beautiful bill, these threats are getting crazy. Here's Trump again threatening that if this big, beautiful bill is not signed and pushed through, they're trying so hard to get this to go through. He's saying that if not approved, your taxes will go up by 68%. By 68%. They are trying everything that they can here to get the people to just accept this. And like, for the most part, like, people have been bargaining. And like, there was some false info that went out over the weekend or something, said it was all passed and he was signing it. It didn't happen. It's still in debate. They're still trying to yank certain stuff out of it and this and that. Although the AI has not been yanked, they're not saying a peep about that. Like, out of sight, out of mind. They're like not trying to bring any attention to that part at all, which shows that's the part that they're trying to hide. Okay, but listen to what he says here.
Look, it's a great bill. It's a massive tax cut. if it's not approved, your taxes will go up by 68%. Think of that, 68, a record, the highest in the history. The Democrats won't approve it only because politically it's so good for the Republicans. The Democrats aren't approving it. But think of what they're not approving. They're not approving border security. We've done a great job at the border, but we have to add some wall. We have to do various things. We have no money for that. We have no money for the border. We have no money for so many things. But if the Democrats, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any Democrat votes. We should. If I were a Democrat, I would absolutely, maybe Fetterman, because he seems to be the most sensible one lately. If I were a Democrat, I would vote for this bill all day long because it's tax cuts and so many other things that are common sense. They're basic things. I think they're doing fine. The parliamentarian's been a little difficult. And I would say that I disagree with the parliamentarian on some things, and on other ways he's been fine. But we'll have to see. It's a big issue. I will tell you this: if that bill doesn't pass, the country will get a 68% tax increase. So think of this: you're a Democrat and you vote against it. That means you're voting in favor, because essentially you're voting in favor of the largest tax hike in the history of our country. And you can't do that. In addition, we're cutting costs by $1.7 trillion, and it won't affect anybody. It's just fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do you see the trickery? You see what they're doing? Do you see the trickery? They're trying it again. They're trying to come out and basically threaten the people that if you don't push this through, you're paying 68% more. Really? Is that what the people voted for? Like, they're doing every single thing they can to try to get this bill pushed through. It's incredible, really, what they're trying to do here. Really is. So this one shows that White House participants they even had a special event at the White House. Like, everybody come hang out. We're having a big party at the White House. And what was the party for? To basically threaten everybody and to talk everybody into signing this bill. That's what it was all about, basically.
People. Later this afternoon here at the White House, the president will host a One Big Beautiful event in the East Room to rally Republicans to get the One Big Beautiful bill across the finish line. At that event, he will be joined by everyday Americans from across the country who will massively benefit from the common sense policies and provisions within this bill. This is the largest tax cut for working and middle-class Americans in history, and it's going to put more money into the pockets of hardworking Americans. Families will see an average increase in take-home pay of more than $10,000 per year. Americans earning between $30,000 and $80,000 per year will see a 15% tax cut. Overtime and tipped workers will save thousands of dollars annually. And our amazing seniors will receive historic financial relief by reducing the tax burden on their Social Security.
That's pathetic and ridiculous that every single one of those things are put into one bill and you have to say yes or no on all of it. That is ridiculously criminal. It's treasonous. It's criminal, if you ask me. You should never be able to get away with this. That you can shove stuff like the AI and all these different things like you just mentioned into one bill. They should all be separated and voted on separated. Like, they should show up in Congress and like spend the day instead of just doing nothing. Actually like bring these things up and say yay or nay. And they don't want that. They don't want that because that's an easy way for everything to get eliminated. That's why we've got to this point where they stuff these big bills with pork, as they call it, and they hide stuff in it. Rand Paul one night sat down with one of these big, huge bills years ago, and it just got released to everybody to read, and it was like 2 foot high. He stayed up all night long, tearing into it, and by next morning, he hadn't slept. Everybody goes pouring into Congress to vote on this, and he steps up. He's like, "There's no way." He goes, He proved it. He proved the point that he stayed up to read the whole thing and couldn't even get nowhere near cracked all the way into it. There's so much. There's no way that anyone was reading this stuff, and he proved it. When I saw that, I'm like, man, this is a fraud. Like, all this is a fraud. Now, fast forward to now, this big, beautiful bill, it's all a fraud. I'm sick of the fraud, man. So Trump, he goes scorched earth. He terminates all trade discussion with Canada. And basically, it's over this digital services tax. They're trying to tax American companies with this digital thing. They're hitting him back, doing something, hitting him back like with this tariff thing. They're like, oh yeah, you want to do that? We can do this. And he's super ticked off about it, that they're not like bowing down. And of course, he keeps bringing up the whole thing of them being the 51st state at some point. So he also says that they just signed a deal with China yesterday, and there's a deal in the works with India. Like, really? And signed a deal with China yesterday. Like, for what? Like, any details? And that China's like embedded all over the place, still shipping fentanyl and all this other stuff. Like, it's such a show. Look at all these goobers in the background standing there behind their Gentile Messiah, just falling for it all. It makes me sick. It's disgusting. That's why this country being led by the nose, it's black magic to their demise. But they control both sides. So instantly, most people would always say, well, then what would you want? The other side? No, you just assume that. I want you to wake up and see that someone controls both sides. You're never going to be awake and figure this life out and what this whole thing's about until you see that. The world's a stage. Newsom out of California. He files a $787 million defamation suit against Fox News over what some report was put out on a phone call that he had for Trump. And he's saying that it was twisted and lies and all this other stuff. And I mean, the mainstream does a lot of this, but it's like, come on now. He lies through his teeth as well. I'm going to play this clip.
Going on between Gavin Newsom and President Trump. Gavin Newsom, after President Trump said in the noon hour in the Oval Office that he called him yesterday or the other day, Gavin Newsom tweeted the following. He said, quote, "There was no call, not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines on our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." Well, President Trump contacted me from Air Force One on his way to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he'll be in just a little while. He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, "get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is. Said I never called." So here is the evidence. And here is the call log that the president sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th. Now, granted, this was on Saturday. But look, there's 1:22 o'clock in the morning. Which would have been 10 o'clock at night, 10:22 at night, California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds, and then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess, in Los Angeles. So, Governor, over to you for the response.
I was just going to say that's next, right? We're waiting to see what if Governor Newsom has a response to the president's. Essentially, what he has there is the receipt for what he says is the call that was made.
Oh, yeah.
And the long conversation. Yeah, exactly. And a 16-minute conversation. As you mentioned, as things were heating up is the timing of that call, as things were really just beginning to get started. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Dan, as the president.
I mean, what is Newsom thinking? Is he that stupid? Nah. Is he that stupid? Really, is he? I mean, I know some of these Dems, they believe in the stuff that they believe in, some wacky crap, but is the guy really that dumb to not think that the president of the United States can't prove that they talked, and he takes to social media? So Gavin just got smoked and shown to be what we know he is, an absolute crook and liar. That's what this whole thing exposes. It catches him in the act. Regardless, if you like these characters or not, right?
Democrat governors let violence fester until finally Trump restored order. Trump's not waiting around this time. He says if it wasn't for him, LA would be up in smoke.
Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. The radical left, it's usually radical left, and it's usually governors that are Democrat, and they don't want to call them in. They don't want to save lives. They don't want to save property. They don't want to call them in. I don't know what it is.
Newsom responded, and he said there wasn't a phone call. He said Trump never called him. Not even a voicemail, he said. But John Roberts got Trump's call logs, and it shows Trump called him late Friday night, and they talked for 16 minutes. Why would Newsom lie and claim Trump never called him? Why would he do that? Gavin could have called up the Guard Friday night and could have stopped the violence and saved millions of dollars in damages. But we're now on our 5th day of mayhem, and Newsom suing Trump to send the Guard home. And California congressmen, they're telling the National Guard to disobey orders.
The legal provision Donald Trump is relying on to deploy the National Guard under 10 U.S.C. Section 12406, he is violating the law, because that provision very clearly says that the governors of the states have to give the order, and Governor Newsom clearly didn't do that. And this is very important. I ask every National Guard member to read their orders, read the law, and then decide for themselves if they're following an unlawful order.
Ted Lieu's a lawyer, and he doesn't know what the law is. Presidents have mobilized the Guard, and
so, yeah. Okay, so Newsom, the whole thing there. I don't know if the riots are going to pick back up, get any worse, get fueled back up. But like, it seems like throughout the summertime, that any given weekend, they're bored. Next thing you know, you flip on a channel or look at the Twitter feed or something, you see breaking news. It's going down in LA again. They're doing this and that, but to me, this checks out to be more of like a staged show. It really does. Like, we've exposed that they're using Sherla. They're using taxpayer money that's being controlled by Newsom, by Bass, the mayor, and even as I showed on the vice mayor. One of the vice mayors down there was calling for the Mexican gangs and cartels to get up off their tail and get their effing members in order and to buck back on these ICE agents. All right. That's the mentality of all of them down there at this point, all thinking the same way on the same side here. It's getting really close to what they've always wanted with this whole Civil War stuff. But as I said before, when they brought in 20 million illegals, there you go. Use them to prop up the other side against the current citizens. I mean, and they're doing that. The Dems are trying to act like these Dems are not here illegally and give them licenses and give them jobs and let them become police officers. And so they can just roll up on someone and murder and rape them and kill them. It's insane. Chicago doing the same stuff. I don't see how people can stand it and live in some of these areas. Like the strongholds of evil. But here's a positive one. An award-winning Washington Post editor arrested and charged for possessing child porn. Thomas Pham LeGros, 48, arrested on Thursday, made his first appearance at the U.S. District Court on Friday. According to the prosecutors, they went through his laptop and it revealed a folder that contained 11 videos depicting child sexual abuse material. They're saying that his bio at the Washington Post bragged about his coverage of GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore. Recall that Roy Moore was lambasted over his alleged attraction to minor teen girls in the 70s. In 2018, LaCroix was part of a team of Post reporters who were awarded the Pulitzer Prize in all this. So, prizes or not, Nobel Prizes, it doesn't matter here. Like, any of these pedos getting busted, it needs to be shown. And it looks like we've got a fight brewing here with Trump and Massey. We've kind of known this. It was pointing in this direction. But Trump's saying that they will spend whatever it takes to get him out. And this is kind of crazy because it's going to be a bit of a battle here. Because he ain't going to go easy. He's been in there, and the people love him because he stands up for the things that no one else will. And he was saying, we don't need to go to war with Iran. Just that simple. That's simple. That's all he was saying. We don't need to go to war with Iran. Trump looked back at him and was just like, look, you know how to shut your mouth. And like, he's like a mafia boss. This whole thing is mafia. I've told you this before. It's insane. So they're going to build this whole super PAC dedicated entirely to removing Massey from office next year. So it's on. It's going to be the new Kentucky MAGA super PAC that they're going to launch. Well, I don't know, man. People are stupid and ignorant everywhere. What I've seen people like really drop their religion. I don't even hear them talk about Jesus or anything like that. Yeshua. You'll see more tweets, more stuff constantly, and more stuff out of their mouth on Trump, and this MAGA crap, which is the 5th level of Satanry. And they don't even know that. They don't even realize. They didn't even stop and take a second to like research the title that they took up, what it actually means. These witches, wizards, and warlocks know what it means. And again, Elon jumped out there, Mr. Baphomet, and pushed it to a whole different level. Dark MAGA. They're really showing you what this is all about. So, this is something I said last time, but I didn't have the link on it. I had a video that was messed up and didn't want to play right, but RFK Jr. says it's his vision to have every single American. That's every single American. I'm talking every American wearing this wearable device. And people are going to look at them like, oh, they're just fitness trackers and this and that. Like, oh, what's the harm in it? And they're going to push it hard. He says that they're about to launch the biggest ad campaign that they've ever done. HHS, Human Health and Services, whatever, is going to start a massive advertising blitz to encourage the uptake of wearables, such as fitness trackers, on Americans. And I don't like it. I don't trust none of these games. It's almost like, I'm waiting to see the device exactly. And I would want to rip it apart. I want to see everything that it's doing, know everything it's doing, all these details, because they're about to put a device on everyone, have them wearing it like it's the cool thing to do. Look, man, they're already tracking people through their phones left and right, their smartwatches, their smart fridges, smart homes, all this stuff. But they want more. They want to make sure that everyone has this device. Now, this would be relaying data back to the government in real time. See, this is the fine print here that he doesn't mention. He tries to act like, oh, he's some big hero out here on the front lines. It's my vision to see all Americans wearing one of these in 4 years. Like what? Like, you want all Americans wearing this electronic device? What kind of frequency does it give off? What does it do to the body? How does it affect a person's aura and energy field and everything else? Like, anything on that? Mr. Maha. Like, I don't trust this goon as far as you can do him. at all. None of them. So his vision within 4 years of everyone wearing one of these is just kind of crazy to me. It is. Bulletproof soul. Much love. Blessed. Much love. Good to see everybody out there. 144K. Yeah, and with 6G, like, who knows what this device is doing? And again, look what a smart meter does. You know, and they've got it by law mandated, strapped onto everyone's house. And we already know it causes massive damage. Are we live still? Let me see if I've got bunker busters. All right. Let me get I'm waiting to see. I just got a refresh. It shows that restream is live. It looked like it went down, and I heard my internet make a noise, and usually when that happens, that's the deal here. Share here, and I see 5x5s. All right. Just happened to do it right at the top of the hour, huh? Kind of weird, but all right, cool. Had to refresh the stream. Looks like we probably lost a few people. Not sure what happened there. Much love. Thank you to everyone out there that shares it and gets it out there to places that I can't reach. and things like that. Thank you for the feedback. Tom, Earl, Bernie, Hoodie Ross. Yeah, so thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Well, all right, yeah, all the feedback, much love. It looks like we're good. Looks like from here, I can keep on trucking. That's what I'm gonna look to do here. Going live here for the second half of the show, and I'm gonna start off here with what's going on in NYC. If you're not keeping up with this, you should, because the socialist individual coming off the Democratic side, communist, just beat Cuomo. And if he gets in there, he plans to do a ton, and I mean a ton, of crazy stuff. Now, my question to the people in New York is like, how are you letting this happen? But like, I've seen cops getting interviewed and all this other stuff, and like they don't like this dude, and a ton of people are saying they're leaving. They're leaving. Okay, but just let me play this here so you can get a taste of what and who this dude is. Talking about the trannies, and all this other stuff here.
And one of the things that we've said beyond saying that we're going to make this a sanctuary for.
All right, I'm not gonna. It's probably not gonna play that clip. He's talking about LGBTQ sanctuary state. That's what New York City is going to become full scale. It's going to become full scale sanctuary. And Rep. Andy Ogles is urging Pam Bondi to revoke the citizenship of the socialist mayor candidate. His name is Zofran. They call him Little Muhammad Mamdani. He says deporting to Uganda over ties to terrorism and being a sympathizer to terrorists. Now, he may have some points there in terms of that, but that's what he's calling for. Then Wayne Root says that if this guy becomes NYC mayor, New York's done. Like everything you ever seen about it becoming Gotham and crime written and everything else, like it's about to happen. Like flip, turn, upside down, no-go zones. Full-scale no-go zones in this place we're talking about. Get ready for third world, Gaza-like no-go zones inside of America. NYC is Manhattan. All this is going to be the epicenter, man. You can see here, this keeps mentioning different no-go zones. And, man, they say that places like Miami, Palm Beach, Naples, Dallas, Houston, Austin, Vegas, Phoenix, Nashville, Atlanta, and Charlotte could be potentially be targeted here in this wave. But you're places that see it rising, and they're citing just more of the staged chaos. And he's coming from the left, he's coming from the Dems. You get somebody like this in here that becomes a rock star. I mean, look what they did with someone like AOC. Found her in a bar somewhere and then turn her into who she is. Some supposed congresswoman that's done her in a box of rocks. But will sit there and spew whatever to take millions from the lobbyists and basically sell us out. They need checked. It needs to stop. We've been sold out. That's how we've been sold out, is these people take the money, put it in their pocket, and they push whatever the people paying them want, which is most of the time not in our interest. So I'm telling you, this guy, he beats Cuomo heads up, and it sets the stage for him taking control. And people are like, are you kidding me? Like last minute. People don't know what to do. Like, some say NY is already bad enough. Well, yeah, you say. He doesn't recognize Israel at all. Okay, well, that brings me to this next point. Next couple here. This one says, time to leave NYC. Kyle Bass urges Dan Loeb to embrace his inner Texas after this socialist shockwave hits up there. They've got this cringe, stupid video with a stupid guy. Man, I hope that Gosh doesn't get in there, man. Like this dude, I've seen him talking. I'm like, this is going to be bad. This can be bad. Everything, you can just tell the energy behind it. Forget any of the details. Like, I can just tell the people, where it's coming from, the energy and all that. Like, it's not good. So they're talking here that, do you know what is in New York? The biggest population of Jews in the world. Okay? They are talking about flooding out of the city, and they're going to take their wealth and everything else with them when they go, and they list other places where they're going. People are calling brokers in these luxury real estate brokers, say that they're flooded with calls for people looking to leave after this dude won the primary. So he beats Cuomo. People are like, what? They're like, we're done? We're done for? Well, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, NYC Mayor Eric Adams steps up and says, no. Look, I'm running for re-election then. And they're like, what? It's a catch-22 though, because he said he didn't want to go on the Dem side, but New York and the whole area is so left-leaning that if he ran on the GOP side, it just wouldn't work. He wouldn't win. And at least he's being honest about it in that aspect. This is a dude that torched the left and the Dems, didn't even want to be a part of the party. And now he's like, well, people are like, you have to run. Like, you've got to do something. You've got to beat this dude. You're like the only hope now. Guy that was just up for indictment and all this other stuff. Tables turn. He was cussing the Dems and all this other stuff, but he's sitting there saying that, if he goes GOP, it just won't be accepted up there, and he'll lose. He knows the inner workings, and if he feels that, if he's being honest about it like this, I don't know what's going to come of this, but at this point, everybody and their mama is going to be jumping behind him and rooting for him. If not, you're going to be getting the socialist in everything that it brings. Are you ready for that? Do you want that? All right, let's jump onto the military stuff. President Trump saying that the Democrats leaked all this Iran intelligence and gave it to CNN, and that they should be taken down, that, the FBI is looking into it, and that this lady here that did it and dropped the report should be arrested, more than just fired, but arrested, tried, and all this stuff. I'm gonna play this clip right here.
Here today, I know you're looking for this leaker. Is it your belief? I know you said earlier you're not sure if it's on Capitol Hill or at the Pentagon, but is it your belief that it might be in Capitol Hill? And how confident are you that you'll find this leaker?
Well, I'm not personally looking for the leaker. The FBI is looking for the leaker, so you'll have to ask them in the Department of Justice in terms of this investigation. But leaking top secret classified intelligence is a crime, and people need to be held accountable for that crime.
And can I just ask you about how you're going to be limiting intel to Congress?
Okay, so my point here is, again, they leaked something real, meaning that it wasn't fake. Meaning that the information that was put out was real and it was valid. And they're pissed off that it happened. they're ticked off because it's showing that like nothing was going on there. Like it didn't. And another thing that top military strategists and guys that I follow, that even McGregor that I follow, they'll tell you the same thing. It takes days. It takes weeks to gather intelligence. When you do a bombing run, or you make a strike and you hit something, it takes time to assess it, not only with satellites and all that, but with drones, people on the ground, all kinds of different reconnaissance to see the extent of the damage. And until all that can be done, you really don't know. It's all just conjecture and guessing and just assuming until you can prove it one way or another. So, at this point, some would argue that they should still be in the intelligence gathering stage, assessing it on a daily basis, and that's the true way that things work in flow. But here's a shift up. The whole game's kind of shifting up. Okay, the U.S. is now mulling easing Iranian sanctions and assisting them in non-enrichment nuclear programs. Okay. And this was bizarre. It even starts off here. It says in an update, it says in an entirely bizarre and unexpected pivot. And following yesterday's Trump statement suggesting that a new Iran nuclear deal might not even be necessary, given the narrative that they obliterated all the stuff, the White House is already in discussions for a deal both to ease sanctions and to help Iran with a civilian energy production nuclear program. They just have to stop the enrichment. And the enrichment is something that they say that they will not do because that puts them as a nation at risk. And I'm going to tell you now, another country will just supply it to them, like Russia or China, just give it to Russia's done said it, like, we'll just give them the nukes. Like, if you're not going to allow them to make them to protect themselves, like, we'll just give them to them. That's what Russia's saying. That's why Trump went off on Medvedev. So Iran, in this missile attack on a U.S. base in Qatar, it marked the largest Patriot missile engagement in U.S. history, meaning that more Patriot missile defense systems, the battering setups there, they were taking down ballistic missiles. This was kind of like a show for anyone that's paying attention. For anyone that just kind of watches this out the corner of one eye and like listens a little bit and doesn't pay attention to any of the detail here, these Patriot missile defense systems are shooting down what are they shooting down? Normal missiles. What they were designed to do. And they're doing a good job of it. Here's the problem. Russia, Iran, even Israel, everyone has demonstrated what a hypersonic missile looks like and the damage it can do. And guess what? Not even a freaking Iron Dome can stop it. And guess what? Russia's hypersonics crushed these Patriot systems in Ukraine. I showed you. Crushed them. Why? Because the Patriot system was not designed to keep up with the speed and target and hit a Mach target, a target moving at Mach speed. It was designed to hit a regular missile at those speeds, ballistic cruise missiles, things of that nature. Hypersonics go way up in the subspace and they come diving down and they gain Mach speeds that, like, it's very complicated. Like, no one has demonstrated yet that they can stop a full barrage of these things coming down. Nope, they get through. We've seen Tehran, Tel Aviv, Moscow, all these places have been hit. Kiev, the only place yet to be hit really is the United States. At some point here, I feel like it's going to happen. So I just want you to know that was the biggest engagement in history, but really it's kind of Okay, that was just like with the old stuff. Like, you guys better hope that you've got some kind of new missile defense system that can take down the hypersonics. Trump trying to say that they do, trying to say, boast, we've got the best of everything, blah, 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 and we're going to make this golden dome over the United States. Could be telegraphing an EMP event. Because if you do detonate and you hit a target at the right altitude above anywhere, it can create an EMP effect, and they know this. But they're going to say, what was we going to do? Was we going to let that bomb come down and hit the ground and like wipe out a whole city and nuclear mushroom cloud and all this? Or were we going to hit it as quickly as possible? And that's going to be up in like 20, 30,000 feet. That's EMP territory. So it's just things to think about, man. They better start doing something here, man. I feel like we're a sitting duck with all this. What's the next one say? Talk about switching things up. Trump says he would bomb Iran again without question, and that he's not looking to drop sanctions anymore. Boy, oh boy, you talk about turning on a dime, just like this, like that. Just gone. Yeah, look, you're over here talking about giving them a peaceful this and that, and then turn around and it's this the very next day. So Lindsey Graham, can't stand him. He's a establishment war hawk, call it neocon, war hawk. Well, he basically steps out of line here, and he breaks with Trump over the strike's effectiveness. He says, I don't know where the enriched uranium is. Like, we don't know where. Like, so what they're admitting right now, what they're telegraphing, is that they've been duped. And that Trump just tried to come out the gate like he always does and say whatever to gloss it over. No, they did not obliterate everything. They cannot even show proof that they did. And again, these things take some time. And as of right now, all these people are like turning the other way. It's like leaving Trump sitting out there. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Truly. Cats like you that support the channel relentlessly, showing support. I appreciate you more than you know, man. I hope all is well with you and your endeavors. Maybe one day before this is all over with, we'll get a chance to meet. Keep it pushing here. Ayatollah claims that the victory has been made over Israel, and he almost collapsed in this first public appearance since the ceasefire. They say he looks frail, looks weary, tired. I would say so when your country's getting bombed and you're the main person they're trying to take out. He's been on the run and hiding, no other way around it. And who sleeps well thinking that a bunker buster is about to hit you, because they'll do it. They will do it. They will try it. They think that they can. But see, that's the thing. Like, he's not deep underground or anything. He's moving around in known places. And like all these world leaders, just like them moving the uranium out of the place. Like, they know where it's at. They had to have seen it in satellite footage. The world's a stage, man. So as peace breaks out, which never happens, let's take a look here at all the bases here that we've got in the area, so that you know what we're doing around them. Stealth mode, welcome to the underground. Colleen, welcome to the underground. Thank you, guys. Welcome, all the new members. Thank you for that super chat. Anyone super chatting? or buying a coffee. Those are the best ways to support the channel. And I'll appreciate it to the fullest. I'm going to blow up this image. Well, guess not. Go back this way. False peace, very much so, is what I'm expecting here. Look at these bases. So when it comes to Iran and getting as close as you can get to them to try to get around them, they've done so. I mean, you can see through Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, all through Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, I mean, all these places. Man, that's 40,000 U.S. troops stationed in the area. 40,000 spread out, and they could beat that up at any time. So we've got a ton of bases and assets all around. And you always knew we were getting close whenever we kind of did our thing in Iraq. When they were able to take out Iraq, it opened up this void, which really was kind of stupid. They let the place kind of collapse, and it was a setup to me. For those that don't know, if you don't recall, what happened is they left all of our U.S. military equipment sitting in Iraq. Think of all the equipment that was used for all the operations, all the years in Iraq. It was sitting out in the open at a certain base. And ISIS swooped down from Syria up here, the northern part, the caliphate. They swooped down and they stole it. And they armed themselves with the baddest machinery that they could ever get in their life. It was like a blessing, a gift. And I'm telling you, it was a setup. Someone gave it to them. Never struck them, bombed them, sent F-15s out to snipe them on the way back, running up into city. Nothing. Let them take it. Let them take it, because the world's a stage, man. Okay? World's a stage. And I mean, look what Assad just did. Dude didn't even put up in a fight for his people, his country. Dude just buckled and took off and ran. Hiding, where's he hiding? Turkey? Or is it Turkey? Russia? Russia? Moscow? It's got him there. Yeshua is king. That's right. And the same thing happened in Afghanistan. You got that right, Joe Pope. Same exact thing. It happened on Biden's watch. Biden did. They let Al Qaeda swoop in, a different faction of terrorists that they created. They let them come in and get a war chest that was a blessing, from the heavens. They could have never achieved something like that in a million different battles. But yet, America just leaves it for them. Why? Because they made them. And this whole thing was designed for that. It was designed to somehow get it to that point where they could dish it off. So they have armed these caliphates and these groups to the teeth in the area. They've done it. The governments. So the world's a stage again, man. It's ridiculous. Russian President Vladimir Putin praising Trump, saying that he is courageous and that the relations with the United States are improving, which is a good sign. Medvedev warns that Moscow is no longer going to support Ukraine becoming part of the European Union, saying that Brussels is the biggest threat. And that's in Belgium. And basically saying that all these guys out of NATO just want war. And I told you that Mark Rutte, the current leader of NATO, he doesn't care about any peace. He just wants war with Russia. It's all they want is war with Russia. So North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is trying to open up a beachfront resort in North Korea. Now, how many of you guys are going to go buy tickets or fly or swim or whatever it is to get and take yourself to this place? I'm sure they got it done up looking pretty nice, but it's like super restricted and like see they got the coast set up here and they got it looking nice. And they're trying to get people to go there. So it's like, do you really think, like, who's going to go to North Korea in this situation? But I say that, but Dennis Rodman used to go over there. He used to go over there and hang out, man. Kick it with Kim Jong-un. Like, wasn't no thing. Like, oh, dude's cool. This and that. And it's like, oh, really? It's like, how many people did he execute while you were over there? Because this guy's killed his own uncle and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be going. What do you do? They're going to start, like, talking to you in another language and, like, barking at you. And you don't even know what they're saying. And they're like, you're coming with us. We're killing you. You're a spy, dirty American. What were you thinking? Coming here, you idiot. You're going to die just for me to skip it. Like, I don't know. I don't trust none of it. Like, who you're trying to get to come there. Like, I mean, they're trying to get some money and some people to come in there. I just don't see who's going to do it. North Korea. There's other beautiful beaches out there across the planet, even here in America, before you have to go there. So China unveils this crazy brand new drone that is the size of a mosquito. This is pretty much game changing this day and age, and it's fully militarized. That's who rolled it out. That's who demoed this, was the military. And I'm gonna play this little clip of this guy showing this, and then we'll zoom in on it and go over some of the details. But China's not the only ones.
比如我手上的这个像蚊子一样的，也是一种机器人。
Look at that thing.
像这种微型仿生类机器人，特别适合用于战场上的信息
It
侦
can
查
be
等特殊任务。
control of the iPad. Now, this is the crazy part about it. This mosquito-sized drone is designed for covert military operations and espionage. Yeah, that's raising alarm bells right there. This miniature device features 2 leaf-like wings, a black vertical body, and 3 hair-thin legs, engineered to mimic the mosquito. So it's almost invisible to the eye. But this tiny drone, they say, changes the game because the nano wing drones right here, as you can see right here, and why would they not already be doing this? Someone, somehow, to some degree. It makes you think about when you open windows and doors and to your house. What's in there? What comes in? This day and age, this stuff is real. When a bug can enter and you just miss it, a fly, mosquito, anything slips in and out of a door, the implications of this are nuts. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you were to give some of these guys this technology, which obviously they've got it here, they've got warehouses of military young men that are sitting at a computer trying to fly these things remotely from a great distance into certain locations. Okay? They could even be parked in vans outside of certain buildings, and they could release these things. And the whole idea is to get it through the front door, and then get into the building, maybe even send a couple of them in, use them in like tandem to be able to see a lot of things going on at once in different directions inside the place and get to your target area. Maybe it's the bank vault. Maybe it's to get the code. Anything like that. Well, this thing's going to be able to do it. And it's going to be the closest thing ever in history, James Bond like, where someone's going to actually be able to do this. Get cameras in there and be able to sit there and watch them in real time HD, punch in the code to the vault, and like, or whatever it is, whatever the situation may be. You know, this could be like, this could be used on the enemy. Tables turned. Imagine if we had these and like you snuck down to Bohemian Grove or I don't know, Bilderberg meeting, World Economic Forum, something like that. And I don't know, you know the old saying, if I was a fly on the wall, the World Economic Forum, well, that's what this becomes. Now, they do a full sweep of electronics and all that stuff before all those guys get there. But you're telling me that if doors are opening and shutting and closing constantly to the hotel and all this stuff, like someone isn't slipping one of these in? Well, I guarantee you someone could do it. I'm a state feel I could do it. Give me a little bit of practice flying this thing, because it's a drone essentially, from a remote distance with the headpiece on, with the goggles on. So basically, you're VRing it. You're doing it in like VR style. Yeah, man. There's guys that specialize in putting those headsets on and flying drones to crazy places in spaces all day long. This is kind of crazy, man. You got to watch it all the time. Just if you're out somewhere and you suspect that, man, that thing looks like something, like it's not real or something, like, it could be a mini drone. They're real. All right, here's a good update, but is it too late? And I got some questions on this. A new Texas law prevents the land within the state from being sold to CCP members. And other states have done this. It's going to ban individuals and companies with ties to the CCP from purchasing land in the state under a law that's going to take effect on September 1st. So this starts on September 1st. And with this law, Texas is joining a growing number of states that will regulate foreign ownership of their land. Here's the kicker, though. There's already a massive base inside of Texas, Chinese owned, right next to our base. And it's like known, man. It's known. What about that, Abbott? Huh? Establishment goon. How come you haven't sent National Guard troops to surround these properties into, like, how come Homan hasn't with all of his eyes? Like, I got a lot of questions, dude. Like, I'm the guy that sees through it all. And, like, it may work on most of the other crowd, but, like, I've been here too many times before. The CCP is here. They are embedded in here. And as far as I could tell, some of the biggest chunks of property that could be housing them, easiest access, is Texas. So again, a good law, give them props here, put this on the books, but what about what's already slipped in, my man? Come on, like a Trojan horse. Want to act like it didn't happen? Well, check this out. The Pentagon just created a brand new 250-mile military buffer zone at the Texas-Mexico border. That's pretty big. 250-mile buffer zone all along this region. It's going to be known as the National Defense Area. So this is completely different than what things used to be. Just a ghost land, tumbleweeds flying by, and then a bunch of migrants tramming through, following a coyote. Not anymore. Like, it's not only locked down cold in many places, like, this entire area becomes a military buffer zone. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that means? You do this in a war setting. Only thing here is it's not a problem, but the war hasn't begun yet. It's going to. That's the problem. People are blind to it. I've told you a million times. On day one, Trump declared a state of emergency, and it was because of the cartels and having to go to war with them, right? We've got warships off Baja. We've got drones and choppers doing recon flights. They have been. Now you've got a 250-mile, that's massive, man, buffer zone being controlled by the military. Like, you do this when you these are like forward moves that you do militarily before big engagements. That way, creating this buffer zone here, they're going ahead and making it to where, like, once this starts, kamikazes can't come running up of cartels and like trying to shoot them up and just driving car bombs and all this stuff into certain areas. Well, they're going to have it razor wired, fenced, booby trapped, whatever it is they're doing, whatever it is. A buffer zone, military buffer zone, can have anything that you could think of in it. And you only do this, you're prepping to make a major move. Like, something huge is about to happen. In the language that I heard earlier about Mexico, they are viewing Mexico as an outright like enemy, putting them in the same boat as it's Russia and China, literally. As they're like teammates. So yeah. Homan, who's in charge of all this, he reveals that ICE is they've been out rescuing migrant children that are being trafficked to pedos and all this other stuff under Biden. And it's like, whoa, whatever with this crap. Like, he says that, this is an interesting tidbit though, he lives apart from his wife because he gets death threats. He gets death threats that much, so often. That's how his life is going. And he has to live separate from family members, wife and kids and everyone else. So I'm like, It's all staged theatrics. I mean, every kid saved, great, but like, come on. These are the same people hiding the list of Epstein and everything. Talk about some list. Talk about some kids being saved and everything else. Come on, man. Come on. I don't trust none of this. And we've got this goon right here. Lady thinks she's high or something here. Telling everyone out there to kill ICE agents. Like, flat out kill them. This is very similar to the vice mayor. Everyone to attack ICE. I can't remember a time where it's been so prominent, where they're so bold in doing this. Maybe after all these cats get visits by the feds and this and that, they'll think different. But
you can just kill ICE agents. You know that? You can just kill them. You don't have to hold your phone in their face and ask people when their birthday is and ask people what their name is and then try to find wherever they end up in Los Angeles. You can kill them. This isn't about social media clout anymore. This isn't about video. This isn't about the phone. This is about get a gun and start killing ICE agents.
Look at that. That is crazy. That this is the level where they're going. They're being fueled in being, I don't know, like, look, you can get away with it. They're basically being told, and like, I mean, the way that this person just looked in the camera and said this so definitively and brazen with like no regret, no nothing, like calling for people to go kill and murder, like. Thank you, Robert, for the coffee. First one of the night. Appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you for the support. Yeah, man. So I don't know. The chaos here, they've been trying to get the chaos for some time. We know this. Look at this. ISIS-inspired drone war plans leaked. All these leaks, like, come on. From U.S. national security. Like, come on, is it that weak? The stuff's just sliding out? Or is it released like we know it is? What they're talking about here is basically all the war plans for launching drones en masse to attack. And it reminds me of seeing the drone swarms in that that Obama movie, into the world movie or whatnot, right? So I'm just kind of like, huh. They telegraph a massive drone attack. Is that what we're looking at here? Is that's what's coming? What's going to happen if they do that in this country? Like, I don't know. Do you know how to respond to something like this? Take these drones out of the sky. And if they're kamikaze like they're talking about, then like the drone itself is a bomb. So look, hey, if you've not spent any time watching over on like some of these outlets that share the frontline footage, what they do is they send out a couple drones or a pack of drones, and like one will sit back and it will observe the whole scene, and a couple other drones will go down forward and they'll have like C4 strapped to them or something, and they'll go down and they'll pick up guys in the trench. They'll see them on the camera in a foxhole or something, and it'll get a good angle, and it'll go down right on them, right up on them, and it'll blow them to pieces. And it will be like live streaming it in HD the entire time. So you get to see these drones make contact. You get to see these guys' last moments. They see the drone. You can see the look on their face, like, oh crap. And like within moments, they're gone. They're blown. And this happens every day, left and right, in Ukraine, on the front lines, every day, constantly. I'm going to tell you, in other parts of the globe. So how do you stop that? Does anybody care? Probably should. It's going to get used on us at some point. You know, what they do is they put up these nets. They've been trying to put up these nets, camouflage like type nets, that if one of these drones want to come down in their area, the net stops it, like catches it. And if it's going to blow up, it'll blow up in the net or whatever. The net will take down the drone. But these guys are skilled. And again, like I was just telling you with the mosquito drone, like if you pack a little bit of C4, I don't know if I would say this. A year or so ago, I showed you a clip. I shared a clip. It was a DARPA, or it was a U.S. intelligence agency that took a little drone out of his hand. He had like a fake person sitting on stage, and he was like standing like 10 feet away from it, and he threw it at the person. It's like threw it in the air, and this thing picked up flight and zipped and went right to this person's head, and it blew up. It exploded, and it was a miniature drone that did it, packed with C4. Enough to where all I had to do was land someone's head and ignite, and it would blow a hole in your skull. Game over. Assassination. That's where we're at with these things. So, you know, Boomer, thank you for the coffee and the support, man. What is this RIP? Oh, never mind. All right. So yeah, just gonna go over here and check the email real quick in the chat here before I go to wind this down here for the night. Yeah, drone warfare is scary. The nano stuff, all of it. You know, China leads in this. What's C4? C4 is like an explosive that they can ignite. It's the stuff you'll see in video games and movies that they put on like vault doors to a bank or something, or to a highly secured place, and they want to blow the door off. They'll pack it with like, it looks like putty or something, and they put it on there. They put a wick on it or something, a fuse. And they run away, and then they hit it, and boom, they blow a hole into the place. That's what like C4 is. It's a high explosive material, and it doesn't have to be C4. It could be anything. It really could. It could be any type of explosive that you could think of. They got so many different ones these days. So many different ways to kill. Our military does, especially. I seen our neighbors had and gave us. They were like, here. They were like snapping pops. You know, the 4th of July poppers you throw down at the ground, the little white ones. When I was a teenager, we used to take them in our fingers and like think we were cool and all this, to squeeze them and pop them like right in our hands and stuff like. But those are like the kiddie ones, right? And thank you, Rain-X, for the coffee. Much love. God bless. They gave us the box of XXX on it. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, does this box really say XXX? And it did. And it was adult fireworks, like snapping pops. And they were a lot harder. So like when you threw them at the ground, like they were way harder. So they've got some new combination. They look a little different. They're way more potent and louder, though I will say that. But boy, if you throw one at the ground and like it doesn't go off, and you think it's dust, and like a dog comes by and like chews on it or something, it's probably gonna get its jaw blown off. What is a Dabu 7 token? Says Fund My Crypto Core. All right, well, I'll give an update on that. That is the token that I made yesterday for my likings, because everybody copies me and makes stuff of me, other YouTube channels, other Twitter channels, everything that you could think of. It was mentioned to me before that I should probably make one just to have control of the official project, official coin, not somebody else out there running it, under my name. People think it's me. So yeah, I launched the original one. This is it. I got links below in the chat. This is it, day one, and it is the perfect time to get in because look, pump.live, pump over there. There's a certain species of animal that exists over there, and like they want you to do all these crazy things to get a coin to pump for them on their watch, but they don't seem to understand when a real project comes through what it means to buy something and hold it, actually to hold it, what it means to hold, and that hold takes it higher and higher and higher with the project. The Under Project and Dabu, the only two projects that we're going to have. These are the ones, but wanted to grab the one in my name, obviously, before someone else did. And lo and behold, as soon as we did it, the copycats within milliseconds made copycats. That's how the game is out there right now. And there's probably copycats out there with bigger market caps than the OG coin. But anyone out there that wants, the real deal, you're looking at it, it's here. It didn't get hacked. There was a mistake on a couple other things, but Dev Wallet's been locked up. Dex has been paid. It is official. Hit the bonding curve. And since I didn't do what they wanted me to do, which is what they always want to do, they wanted me to go live immediately so they could all dump on any of my audience. Well, I got them to dump before I presented it to you. So this is literally like the floor, like an 8K here is like as low as you can get into a project or a coin at this point. It's below 8K. So all I'm saying is when the thing rises and hits 20K, that's double the money. 30K is triple the money, quick and easy. It's an American project. And if they're going to be tax-free and everything, like the Trump administration says and everything else, then these projects are ways for the community to make money. And it's all based on the community. If the community wants to be dead and do nothing, then everything will be dead and stay that way. So it's all on the people. In the life that they breathe into things. But as I said before, the dev wallet's been locked, and in Telegram is the soul scan on that, the proof, and all that. Yeah. If you build it, they will come. There it is. Dabu 7 official. That's what the Dabu 7 coin is. You can find it on all the major dexes, GMGN, Axioms, all that stuff. Just like Under. So Under, Dabu 7. Underground, Dabu 7. It's what we are. It's what we represent. Those are our only projects. Those are the only ones that'll ever be. These are the ones. So there's links below for the Telegram. If you guys have never seen it, been in there. Kick is probably going to be a site that I stream to as a backup from here. If you guys don't know, look me up if you're on Kick at Dabu 7 over there. I'm going to try to probably add it into the mix for the next stream. Just because I feel like we're coming up on crazy times. Like, when lockdowns happened last time that we couldn't even go live on places like YouTube over here. You couldn't do it because we couldn't talk about certain things. You couldn't even say it. You couldn't say certain words without, all hell breaking loose. Like, you couldn't even speak right. You had to speak in code and all this other. Like, we were done with that. We went to DLive and other platforms where we could speak freely, and we could talk about all of it. And Kick is a really good up and coming one. Pump has a live feature, but it won't allow you to go live over there with any other place. So I'll just probably do little separate live streams for over on Pump, just there, because that's all you can do. And I'll add it to the restream if they ever get that feature. But yeah, man, that's it. A much love to everybody out there. Want to thank everybody out. If you got any questions on anything, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. If you don't understand something, if you've got questions, I try my best to help. If you've got anything interesting, any stories, you catch one of these meteors blowing up, like anything, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. And follow me on X, because I'm posting on it every day, all the time. It's what I do. It's what we do. Cover the news. And a much love to everybody out there, all the purebloods. You won't see me on Rumble because I just don't. I run off vibe, and also with just how the platform responds in my interactions with it and everything else. And like, I don't know. And like BitChute and things like that, and these other places, like, I don't know, man, like Kick, it'd be Kick and DLive are my backups from here on out. Just remember that. And I can plug them both for free into the restream because they're there, and they're good backups. So just remember them. DLive, Kick, at Dabu7. It's all the same. Twitter, all of it. Only thing it's not is this channel you're listening to right now, Dabu77. But everything else is Dabu7. You're looking for me. Rainx, thank you for the coffee. Deanne, bless your heart. Thank you so much. Much love. God bless. Thank you for the coffees as well and the support. All you guys coming in at the end there. Yeah, and get you some Dabu coin there. Get in it, man. Get in it for a long haul. I did this so people could get in it and make something, man, and enjoy it. This is the very bottom. This is the lowest you can get in, man. Like, get in, have some fun with it. And hodl. Hodl. And that's the name of the game. Much love. God bless, guys. As I always say, take us out of here on some music. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I will see you here next time for some underground world news live. Much love. God bless. Much love, Tooge. I hope all is good, brother. Free energy. Big D. Ava, much love. Magical. Bulletproof. Pixie. Jones. Proxy. Kilo. Minx. North Star. Bright. Jason Bill. MC. Jen. CJ. Academy. Eon. Let me go over here and check something. I see the email. Open it. Eon. Coming through with 7 coffees. The legendary Eon. Much love, man. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods, your side of the planet. RJ. My man Hoodie Ross. Texas Rob. Christopher. Stay righteous, y'all. And God bless. I see you guys. Thank you so much, D. For real, for everything. Conan. Daily. Peace to all. Gary Ray. Kevin. Everybody out there worldwide. All my pure bloods. Yeah. Stealth mode. Gary. I love all y'all. I see you, Joshua. East Tennessee, man, close to the Appalachians. That's where it's at, baby. Much love.